You're listening to Comic Reflections, episode 97. I'm your host, Nicholas Prom.
I'm Jeff Barnhart. Alert are my ears to the cry of the helpless. Keen are my eyes to the sight of the wrongdoing and injustice. Sworn to avenge wrong, to overcome evil, to bring peace among the plains.
And that is pretty impressive.
Yeah.
I
had to write it down.
Well, okay. And that's a reference to one of our comics we're going to talk about today.
Indeed it is.
Comic Reflections is brought to you by Rhymes with Geek. You can check out our show, plus plenty of other cool podcasts like Super Podcasto Magnifico, I'll Know Anti-Fanboy, Feed It Comics, plus loads of neat articles also about comic books at rhymeswithgeek.com. And I also want to remind listeners that you can to please subscribe to us on either iTunes or Stitcher, because that's better.
Yes.
Well, not better than Rhymes with Geek, but it's better for me to keep track of our numbers, or it's helpful.
Oh, okay.
So,
all right.
Well, it's convenient for listeners too.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah, take everywhere. So, anyway, God, that got so awkward so quickly.
Yes, it does.
Let's please move on to our first book.
One thing. I went to Canada last week. Did you know there's a country above America? Who knew? But it went to Whistler. They had a triathlon. And I was walking around, I said, man, there's an awful lot of Iron Man shirts. You know, the characters, oh yeah, it's the Iron Man contest.
Okay.
So, yeah, I guess there's a comic book reference all over the place.
Sure.
It's kind of cool. I like Canada.
Right on. Traditionally, I've enjoyed Canadians, but I've never been to Canada. So
You should go.
I'd like to. But anyway, let's talk about our very first comic book for today. It's Red Sonja, number 2, and the lead story is called The Demon of the Maze. Excuse me, not lead story, the only story. It's a Marvel comic.
Mm-hmm.
Written by Roy Thomas and Clara Noto, with beautiful art by Frank Thorne. And you know, this has been the first time I'd looked at a Red Sonja comic in a while, and the similarities between Frank Thorne's art and... now I'm going to blank on his name. This is crap now. From Charlton, as in a Pat Boyette.
Uh-huh.
There's some really striking similarities between the art, and they're all good.
Mm-hmm.
I wonder if either influenced the other. Maybe Frank Thorne was influenced by Pat Boyette.
Mm-hmm.
Who knows? Yeah. But anyway, this is a terrific comic book.
Yeah. Well, she is the best dressed superhero.
Yeah.
I've seen pictures. He had his wife dressed up like. I think
it's not his wife. It's Frank Thorne and Wendy Pinney, the gal who created ElfQuest.
Mm-hmm.
The two of them would do the conventions, and they had this wizard and something show that they put on, and she cosplayed as Red Sonja, and she was very striking in the role. So it's not Frank Thorne's wife.
Oh, okay.
So
I bet he wish it was. Yeah, and I think I've seen Frank Thorne, and he looks like a wizard with his big bushy beard. And I think he puts a self-portrait in one of these mags.
Yeah.
So I thought it was cool.
Right on.
All right.
Yeah, but let's get talk.
Demon of the Maze.
Yeah.
We come up. Red Sonja is walking around. She sees two ships hitting each other. It's kind of cool.
Sea ships, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, not airships. This is like ancient something or other. Okay.
Yeah. But she was really freaked out about it. But ships crash all the time. But
do they?
Yeah, back then. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
And especially at night.
Especially in pretend land.
Yeah. But she thinks that something evil's going on about it, the way it's, and they don't really explain, but it's really well drawn.
Yeah.
So she's walking around town, and because I don't know, she can't sleep, I guess. And she comes upon this young lady being abducted by 3 guys. She goes and kicks the guys' butts, but she misses the last guy, and he sneaks up behind her and knocks her out. Let's see. And,
was it all a trick? No, I don't know.
Yeah. So she wakes up in this glass mirror, a mirror maze, and she has she starts seeing things. She sees herself get old. She sees herself turn into snakes. And it's pretty cool, but she realizes it's all a mirage.
Mm-hmm.
And then she sees this old wizard guy. I thought he was a king at first, but apparently he's a wizard.
Mm-hmm. Looks like a rabbi to me, but yeah.
Yeah, it kind of does.
But this is, I mean, this is a
Florida.
This is
it's got a big sun.
Oh my gosh, this is Fantasyland, and it's way before rabbis. So, but yeah.
Oh, there'll be rabbis this time.
Well, but this isn't a pretend ancient Earth. It isn't pretend like year 1000 or something, or anything like that. This is in the like way before that, but also fictional world of Robert E. Howard.
Yeah, no, there is Samaria. It is an actual place.
But Sumeria and Cimmerian are two different people. It's all made up.
No, they're Sumerians.
Not Cimmerians.
Yes.
Conan. I'm not going to argue with this. Let's just talk about the story.
No, I play a game, Rome Total War, and one of the places is Samaria. These are all real peoples.
Okay.
I mean, they were probably not a Conan, but it's sort of that was made up. But yeah, seriously.
Okay. There's even a fan letter in this where somebody's like, in one of these where Roy Thomas says, well, actually, no, this is all made up. This is not based on, like, real...
Oh, no, it's not based upon real life and all this stuff. But
well, no, but all the places, it's like the people who worship Set, they're not Egyptians, okay? They're, okay, all the peoples are made-up peoples, including Hyrcanians and Cimmerians. There's ancient Sumer, where the Sumerians are from, but Cimmeria and Cimmerians, all fiction.
I think it's on the top of the Black Sea, and I think that Hyrcanians might be that too. I think.
Oh, the Hyrcanians, yeah.
Hyrcanians, how I pronounce it.
Well, no, you say it right. But
okay, so let's go back to this. The highly fictional demon lord needs a bride, and that's going to be Red Sonja.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Apparently, the ships. There's a ship carrying. What is this? It's a heart of an ancient holy creature. So what is that? If it's a holy creature, then why is that bad?
Well, because it's powers we don't understand and we don't want to meddle with. Even if it's good, it's still in the wrong hands. It's bad, I guess.
This guy made the ships crash.
The wizard.
Right.
Okay.
The good guy. So he gives her... he's about to die, it looks like. He gives Sonja a bag of bones from the people who tried to go in before.
She gets a bag of bones from the bag of bones.
Right. So she comes, and here is a demon, and here's this other dude who was befriended by the wizard.
This guy's an evil wizard.
Yeah, and he revolted, and our first wizard said, okay, I'll let you, just put you in jail. But he finds he has this demon, so he gets out. So here we have our trouble. Oh, so it's a huge fight. She brings out the bones, and we get a tremendous amount of
skeletal warriors.
It's like the dragon's teeth.
Yeah, I love
Jason,
it.
Right?
I think you're right. But yeah, she throws out these bones, and they become these skeleton warriors to help her, which is cool.
And they kick butt.
Yeah.
So she beats that guy, and the demon turns into this blonde youth. Looks really cool. And Sonja is bewitched by him. The first time I ever seen her smile. She's always scowling, mad or enraged or annoyed or just mad or something.
Yeah.
Well, she has a pretty smile. Okay, it's kind of. But she fights against it because she doesn't really want men, and he turns back into a demon, and she kills him. Yay!
Yeah.
And then when he dies, he turns back into
the handsome guy,
and because he was cursed. So everything is cool. So,
yeah, and then she leaves.
yeah, man, these things are so complicated, and you gotta.
But wasn't it a fun read?
Yes, it was. It was very nicely done, nicely drawn. Didn't know where it's going. Now you kind of figure that she was going to win, but.
Oh, right.
Yeah.
But it's nice to not know what's going to happen. The next turn. I'm like, okay, this is cool.
That's the problem with the Golden Age comics and stuff. They've been ripped off so much. We know where they're going, so they have no surprises.
Right, but here we're in the Bronze Age, and things are getting more complex and clever, and you don't always know what's around the bend. I mean, in Silver Age comics, you're like, okay, there's gonna be a trick or something, or a reveal.
I don't know. The Silver Age you read today, I had no idea where it was going.
Okay,
so
but we'll talk about that later. So our next issue, it's Red Sonja number 9, and the story is called "Chariot of the Fire Stallions," written by
that's an AMC car, right?
I don't know. American Movie Classics car.
No, American Motors.
Oh, you're talking about to the wrong guy about cars.
I'm joking. But that would be a cool name for a car, Chariot of the Fire Stallions.
But Roy Thomas and Clara Noto wrote this, and Frank Thorne did the art again. So the same creative team, and this is cool.
Not bad. All right, Sonja is hanging out with her friend. Oh, what's his name? It's Amaro. And there's Frank Thorne, I believe.
Oh, yes, it's just kind of hidden into the background. Very cool.
Yeah, it is. In the first splash page. Samaro likes Red Sonja, and Red Sonja likes him too. So Red Sonja can't have anybody, and...
Well, she swore an oath she would never give herself to a man unless he could best her in combat. Because, her origin is rapey, and then, she's basically swore off men unless, unless there's very specific circumstances, so.
Okay. Yeah. That should be, I should get that for my daughter. Swear off men until they best you in battle.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, that'd be too easy though.
Well, yeah, I don't know. She might surprise you.
Yeah, she might indeed. Alright, so they get to arguing, and then his mother shows up. And she's Red Sonja-esque.
Okay.
Really well drawn. I love this panel where she shows up. It's really cool. And so she seizes Sonja and takes her to her lair. That doesn't exist in this plane. So Samaro is ticked off. He can't get the girl. So he goes back and wears these golden robes and starts meditating. So, what's her name? The woman. I don't know.
It doesn't really matter because she's probably going to be a one-off
Yeah. So. Okay. So she introduces to Amparo, who is I tried counting, but it looks like 9-armed guy with with a Janus head, one face frontward and one face back.
Right.
He's pretty mean and nasty, and he dragged. This is the first time I see Sonja get a butt kicked.
Right.
He just takes her by the hair and throws her around.
Yeah.
So they're gonna have a contest, but the contest is chariot race, which is odd. And they're gonna chariot race around this lava pit. Kind of cool. It's not unfair. Sonja's never driven a chariot.
Right. And to live, she's got to win. But this guy's really good at it, and she's never done it before. So yeah.
Yeah. So she jumps on Amparo's chariot and starts fighting him. And Sumaro, her erstwhile boyfriend, is helping her with his golden quilt or whatever it is. And she starts lopping off. Well, she finds a sword in her hand because it was taken away from her earlier.
Right.
So she starts chopping off limbs.
Yeah.
And just chops him off. There's about 10 pieces there.
Yeah, and kicks him off the chariot.
Mm-hmm.
So
the horses leap into the lava pit.
Yeah.
And become fire creatures, and they jump over the pit, and she comes back, and the end. Nice story. Then I like to see more stuff with the queen and all that stuff, and being held by a golden blanket's kind of lame, but besides that, it's really well drawn and cool and neat. Samara is interesting. His mother is interesting.
Yeah.
Cool monster. So
yeah.
Pretty nice.
I hope at some point we get to read some more issues of Red Sonja.
Mm-hmm.
So I mean, we've seen her like guest appear in Conan and things, but
yeah.
But
yeah, she's usually her cheerful self.
Yeah. But she's a strong female lead, and there aren't a whole lot of those in comics.
That's true.
So yay. So our next book we talk about, it's Red Wolf #3. Now, a while back we read his debut in, I think, Marvel Premiere #1.
Right.
And for a handful of issues, I think 5 or 6 issues, he had his own series. Maybe it ran a little longer, but short-lived. Yeah. But anyway, the story in this comic is called War of the Wolf Brothers. And it was written by Gardner Fox and Roy Thomas. Roy Thomas rewrote the dialogue afterward.
Huh.
Probably because Gardner Fox, he's a guy who wrote comics starting in the Golden Age, and Roy probably thought this dialogue kind of stinks. Probably it's a little stilted, or maybe came across a bit racist. Who knows?
Yeah, it'd be interesting to know what happened.
Well, right. I don't know that, other than that Roy Thomas rewrote the dialogue. So, art by penciled by Sid Shores and inked by Vince Colletta. So.
Okay. All right. Okay. Let's see what's going on here. Red, let's see, riding his horse with his wolf, and he sees trouble going on, and he goes, and there's this Darby's medicine show wagon, and they're attacking this Indian village, and they're peaceful Comanches. So, and so Red Wolf comes in and kicks butt with his coup stick.
Right. Yeah, it's like a spear, but there's something magic or special about it, I guess.
Oh no! It's counting coup is when a warrior, there being a big battle, and a warrior would rush off to the enemy side and touch somebody with a stick.
Okay.
Not hit, not bash, just touch, and it's a sign of bravery.
Oh, okay.
Didn't work against the white guys.
Oh, they probably shot those guys.
But it's so the counting coup and all that. That's what that's from.
Oh, okay.
But
he does brandish it as a weapon in this. So.
But but it's just a stick. There's nothing.
Right.
I don't know. It might be magic or Red Wolf.
Because isn't his stuff? Isn't it magical? Isn't he like something mystical happened and made him Red Wolf? I forgot.
I didn't notice anything mystical here except he knows kung fu or something.
Well, probably not kung fu, but yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So he kicks their butts and they run. So he's trying to figure out why they beat him up and why they attacked the village, and no one knows. So Red Wolf tries to find out. He's coming around. He sees this white man knocked out, and he lost his memory, which happens all the time in popular culture. But I had never seen anybody without Alzheimer's.
Right.
Forget.
The amnesia plot device happens a lot in comics, movies, everything, and it happens very little in real life. True.
Yeah. I guess that's a good thing.
Yeah. But if it happened and you got your memory back all the time, like people do in fiction, who cares? Then it's fine.
Unless you're
it'd be a great plot device in real life.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I didn't go to work Monday because I had amnesia. Oh, I forgot our anniversary because I had amnesia. It was horrible.
Oh man.
Oh man, that's
Now you're just like
if no one, yeah. I was like, man, I should try that, but no one believed it.
Steve Martin had this wonderful bit on one of his albums, and it was like, how many things you can just basically get away with anything by saying like, I forgot.
Yeah.
I forgot armed robbery was illegal.
That was good.
Yeah. So.
All right, he saves. He takes the guy to this weirder woman or something. A blonde girl with a gun. So
Yeah.
So he goes to town and he sees this guy Darby in the Derby,
Mm-hmm.
and he's talking to Colonel Saber, and what a great name!
Yeah.
I guess there's Sergeant Stiletto and Corporal Butterknife. And really, he looks like Custer, but he doesn't. He's trying to tell the Colonel, Darby is,
Yeah.
and those Comanches are going on the warpath and all this, and the Colonel ain't having it. He doesn't believe it. So good for him.
Yeah. A good white person? What?
Yeah. Yeah. Red Wolf is in his alter ego as an Indian scout.
Mm-hmm.
So he follows Darby and them. And he sees them, the bad guys are poisoning the water, which is a lousy thing to do. That's kind of beyond the pale.
Right.
And just,
But it happened.
yeah.
At least in his comic story. Probably a few times in real life.
Mm-hmm. I guess Red Wolf is a civilized Indian as somebody sneaks up on him.
Mm-hmm.
Have you ever seen that movie, Outlaw Josie Wells?
I haven't.
Oh,
I'd like to. It's one
but
of
it has a great Indian lead, or the supporting character is great. And
Mm-hmm.
so, but how can people sneak up on you? We are a civilized tribe, so other Indians can sneak up on us. But here's this white guy sneaking up on an Indian. So that's not supposed to happen.
Right.
But he uses his gun and busts him in the head. The bad guy does.
Yeah.
So this is an interesting way to kill somebody. They don't want to look like a murder, so they tie Red Wolf to his horse and tie his ankles.
Yeah.
So he's drugged to death. So
Right. So it looks like he slipped off his mount and whatever. Which, although if somebody found him and hey, his feet are tied to this,
yeah,
that also looks like foul play. But
if they just did a loop, that could be it. I mean, but they tied a
yeah, and we can't tell what kind of tie it is. So, but I guess it's less obvious than a bullet in the head. So.
Mm-hmm. Well, he might be in pieces too, so you may never find the entire body.
Oh, that's true.
So
that's what happens when people get dragged to death. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, interesting murder plot, I think.
Yeah.
So, but it's foiled by wolves. So.
Oh yeah, Red Wolf kind of has command or communication with wolves.
Well, Lobo, which is Latin for wolf.
Right. So
he gets a posse together, and they stop the horse.
Of wolves.
Yeah. No, or chihuahuas or something. Would that be hilarious if he got some ridiculous stuff? Pomeranians.
It would. But yeah, so Lobo gets these other wolves, and they stop the horse, and they bite.
And Lobo unties him.
Yeah.
That always. But this other wolf is going to, hey, I don't like this. We should be eating them. So Lobo fights him, and he beats the crap out of the other wolf. So now he is in charge of the wolf pack.
Yay.
I like collective nouns.
Yeah.
So, my favorite,
Murder of Crows.
I've always said this before.
It's great. I like it too. I was like, I wonder if he's going to say Murder of Crows.
Yeah.
Because it's awesome.
Yeah.
So anyway.
So Red Wolf comes to town and he sees this redheaded girl who hates Indians. But she's kind of thinking behind that. We found out later she's thinking that, well, maybe I'm wrong about Indians, but it's one of those star-crossed things. Two ships passing at night. It doesn't work.
Right.
So he tells, Red Wolf tells Colonel Saber.
Better than Colonel Sanders.
Yeah, indeed.
Wouldn't that be
or
great?
Colonel Clink or something. Yeah. About the Indian problem, and as in the Indians about to get poisoned, and he said, "Well, I don't have jurisdiction there," which is odd, but that might be true, knowing government bureaucracies. So here's a red-letter girl. She's gonna red-haired girl. She wants to make up with Red Wolf, and he's not Red Wolf now. He is Johnny, the Indian Scout,
Right.
and
Yeah,
he's like Batman. He's gone before.
yeah, he does have a cave. He wears like a wolf, mask or whatever. We probably should have said this before page 18, but it's fine.
Well, we've already talked about it, so
That's
they
true.
haven't. I'm not going to talk about the origin of each character we do.
I understand.
I don't know. And sorry. Oh yeah. So okay. Who was this goober who? All right. The Dota. Awayo.
Yeah, that's you're fine.
Okay. I don't know. It hurts me to say that.
Some of these words, I'm like, can it be Jones or Smith? What does it have to be that?
Right. Robert Anton Wilson was writing about science fiction. He was saying, you wouldn't want to name a Martian Smith as, wait a minute, that's an idea for a book. And he wrote Strange in a Strange Land from that. But yeah, you kind of want things to sound a little bit foreign or
right.
appropriate.
But good grief, don't make them so hard to pronounce. That you're just like,
well, and the thing is, I don't know if I'm pronouncing correctly, so I might be.
Dota or whatever.
Yeah.
So anyway.
Oh, so he's huge and he's got a wolf head, I guess. Kind of looks foxy to me, though.
Yeah, it's artist representation, but so it's
a pretty cool full page splash, whatever. It's really cool looking.
Yeah, and this is like the spirit or mystical aspect that I was talking about. Yeah. So Red Wolf sort of has power or something.
Not sure though, I don't know what it is.
Or it's just he has a destiny to be.
He gets help from this guy. He tells him, but he said, "You're on your own on this."
Oh, thanks, Dad. So after when he gets done doing Mort calling Orson, he goes back to work, solving the mystery or whatever.
So, he meets a guy who had amnesia, and it turns out he's a marshal.
Oh.
So Darby is robbed a bank. Mm-hmm. So they run back, and the Indian village is attacked again. Ooh, okay. What's going to happen? So they're outnumbered, so they get the wolves and they attack with the wolves, and the wolves eat, or they kill. This is strange. They kill almost everybody except for two guys, the bad guys. Right. Oh, we got there's this one guy. He fights Red Wolf, gets his butt kicked. As usual. Oh, this is already something. He gets in a bear hug. He gets Red Wolf in a bear hug, and Red Wolf takes his palms facing together
and boxes his ears.
Yeah, which that's how Thomas Edison lost his hearing.
Really?
Mm-hmm. No, getting his ears boxed.
Yeah, you don't want to do that.
No, you don't. So, Darby's head looks like it got bigger or something.
Well, I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know. It looks. No, but they solve it. Then, okay, well, here's part of Red Wolf's powers. He noticed that a tree had some dead roots, so he dug it up, and that's where the bank money was kept.
Oh, so he found the loot, and then the marshal takes Darby and his gang to
what's left of it
to jail or whatever. Mm-hmm. And the Indians are saved, maybe.
Mm-hmm. And you have the last panel has. Awalya Toba, whatever. He's just streaming out into the nether regions or something. I don't know.
Yeah. Kind of just, and Red Wolf is riding off into the sunset with the wolves and the horse.
It's kind of cool. I don't know. I don't mind Red Wolf. It's kind of interesting.
Yeah.
I don't know where it's going. It was a nice little mystery to it.
Yeah.
Well done. Well drawn.
Yeah. And we, you never know. We may never read another Red Wolf, or we may read the whole series.
We may have read the whole series. So, Let's see.
I don't think we have. But so our next issue and the last one for this episode is the Ringo Kid number 24. And
Okay.
the lead story is called Hostage. It's reprinted from the Ringo Kid Western number 11. Art by Fred Kita. I got no writing credits on this whole issue. But anyway.
There's a reason for that. Oh my. Okay, Ringo Kid is chased by mystery riders. He climbs a tree, gets off his horse, has his horse go off and leave a trail. And I don't know. Maybe, so let's see. He finds out that the guys are the leader is Black Jack Kane, and he works for Bradshaw. Okay, so we oh god, Ringo goes to this cabin with an old guy who tells him about Bradshaw's taking all the water and all this, and he's taking over and beats up everybody who he goes against him. So Bradshaw's bullies come by and take the old man while Ringo is hid in the basement. And so, man, he looks like Elvis there, Ringo does.
Yeah, he's got that hair.
Yeah. So he decides, I'm going to save the old man. So now we see Bradshaw, and he's really, I don't know, is it badly drawn or ugly or just ugly or, I don't know, it doesn't look good.
I think he's drawn just fine, but he's supposed to be ugly and mean and nasty, so there you go.
I don't know. Okay. Jeff Nunn. So, okay. So they know that the old guy, Fraser was his name, in case you're interested, is being helped by Ringo Kid. So Ringo Kid is coming to save him. So they ring the town with a bunch of the bully guys, and they're ready for him. So Ringo Kid just doesn't stop him. He beats up the guards, throws a big barrel of water on some of them, and shoots guns out of the hand all over the place.
Gee, you never see that.
Yeah, that's impressive.
Yeah.
Yep, and that's the end of the story.
Yeah, very short. All the stories in this issue are pretty short.
Yeah, thank God.
Yeah, okay.
Although that might really hurt it. I mean, there are lengths to stories, and they can be too short or too long, and it can mess it up. Maybe if it was a little bit longer, it could have got more exposition,
sure,
more interesting details, more interesting characters, but I don't know.
I have a feeling that the stories in this issue, because they're all reprints, I think that they were maybe all originally just backup stories. Like there would have been a longer lead story, and then these as backup or something.
Yeah.
But anyway, the next story is One Must Die, reprinted from Ringo Kid Western number 10, art again by Fred Kita.
Yeah. One Must Die. I hope it's Ringo.
Oh.
Oh no. Okay. This guy killed Ringo. I don't know. These guys cannot go anywhere without hearing somebody getting shot. So he goes around and here's this guy who shot somebody, and of course Ringo shoots a gun out of his hand and captures the guy. He tells him that the guy he shot was a marshal, and doesn't want to come with him. So Ringo is going to take him to the law. His captive bashes him in the head with a stick, and Ringo shoots a stick out of his hand and beats him up with his fist. So three riders approach, and they want the bad guy. And Ringo says no. So he shoots the guns out of their hands. Oh man. Yeah, you gotta hand it to him, I guess. Yeah. That's why they call them handguns.
All right.
So, Ringo wins the day. He takes the bad guy to the sheriff, and he wasn't a bad guy. He was a marshal. He just changed his name, so to get Ringo Kid, see what he's up to.
Right.
But then he decided, Ringo Kid is straight up good guy, so you can go.
Yeah.
So
I'm not sure if it's really established. Is Ringo Kid an outlaw or just?
Yeah, he's an outlaw.
Oh, okay. That seems to be a recurring theme with all these Western characters.
God.
Like they're all on the lam.
Yeah, they're not interesting. They're not outlaws, maybe? I don't know.
Yeah, or except Two Gun Kid. Because he was a lawyer. He was a straight arrow. And then he just put on a mask and then he was like a hero.
Right. Man, we ought to do that. Put on the mask. Okay.
So the next story is called The Poachers. It's from Ringo Kid Western number 10. Art again by Fred Kita.
Yeah. Dull Knife is about to get hanged.
Dull Knife is a Native American.
Right. Oh, what an awful name.
Right?
Yeah. Oh, he's the dullest knife in the drawer, right?
Oh, man.
Well, he seems like a nice guy. And so Ringo Kid saves him. Yeah, I guess if I'm going to be hanged, I want Ringo Kid around, so he'll come at the nick of time to save me. If I was a good guy, I guess.
Right.
And I guess I am. So he stampedes the bad guy's horses off and grabs the Native American dull knife. God. All right. Although a dull knife, it's better be cut by a sharp knife than a dull knife. Dull knife will do more damage.
Correct. A dull knife tears.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So anyway.
All right. So these bad guys are poaching buffalo. They're going around shooting buffalo and just scanning them and leaving the meat. That was done. But the thing is, American Indians also, they explain later, their plot is to to drive buffalo over a cliff and kill them that way. American Indians do that all the time, and they just took what they could carry and left the rest of it for the wolves and the vultures. It's just, it's not like they only killed exactly what they needed. It was hard for somebody with a bow and arrow to kill a running buffalo.
Sure.
And it's easier, and not even just easier, just possible to drive them over a cliff. And that's just
because I had always heard though that the Indians used everything, that they didn't waste anything.
So does armor hot dogs. I mean, does that make it? Well, they do. Everything but the squeal, they used to say.
Oh my gosh. Okay.
So, but it is a shame this is all wasted, the hides.
Right.
But there was they got as much as they could carry, and most until 1492 there were no horses.
Sure. Oh yeah.
It's really interesting how good they got with horses in such a short amount of time.
I don't know.
They were excellent, like cavalry by the 18th, 19th centuries.
Sure.
But so the bad guys are going to stampede the buffalo, and Red Wolf figures out how to stop him. He shoots some guns out of hand. That always solves everything.
Shoot the guns out of your hand.
Yeah, you gotta do that with Al Qaeda and all.
Oh man.
Yeah. So the bad guy said, "Wait, hey, we got this commissioner stamp, and this our hides are okay. It's legal." And I didn't know you had a commission stamp. I've never heard of that. It might be. Who knows? The Wild West of this time was far more civilized than what the movies make out to be.
Right. But I guess a commissioner or whatever could make something legal and proper. Yeah. So if they have that mark, I guess that makes sense.
So Ringo goes and sees the commissioner. Says, "All these things are stamped." He says, "I didn't stamp anything." And he looked. "Oh, my stamp is missing." They could have made a fake stamp, for crying out loud.
Well, or I don't know.
I mean, if he would have known. I'd have stolen the stamp, made a copy, then put the old stamp back, and he would never have known.
Right. I mean, but at this time, forgery also was, a lot easier to get away with, more common. You know.
And it's a stamp on a buffalo hide. It doesn't have to be a dollar bill.
Right. Yeah.
All right. So Dull Knife saves. Okay. Oh, sorry. When they find out that it's missing, here comes bad guys. They pull a gun on him, and he's saved by Dull Knife, charging with his horse through the door, which is kind of cool.
Yeah.
All right. An advertisement for poems. Write your own songs above a switchblade comb.
Yeah.
Advertisement. Interesting.
They've got it all in comic books.
Okay.
So the last story in this issue, and for this episode, is called Desperate Hour. And it's also reprinted from Ringo Kid Western number 10. Art, again, by Fred Kita.
Yeah, the art on these things are workmanlike. Nothing.
Yeah.
I don't know. It's not bad. It's nothing super fancy, special.
But I think it's quality artwork. I mean, I can see the professionalism. I mean,
Maybe, I really shouldn't say. They look okay. I kind of like the way Ringo is dressed in black and the way it just looks cool.
Yeah.
And his campfire and all that stuff. So we see Ringo. This lawman comes up to him and with the guns drawn, and he wants to talk to Ringo. Apparently, the lawman's son wants to be an outlaw and he really likes Ringo Kid. So he asks Ringo Kid to set the boy right. So Ringo goes and hijacks the kid and then makes him fall around and get firewood and doesn't give him anything to eat. And he goes to these old people's house and Ringo lets the old people in on his secret that he's just messing around.
yeah.
And he robs the old people while they're crying. And
Right.
he shoots a gun in their house. You know how much damage that does?
A lot.
Yeah, jeez. And the kid pulls a gun on Ringo Kid and tells him to go off. And so, okay, I'll go. And so Ringo talks to his father, and his father said, "I'll tell him what kind of guy you really are when he grows up." So,
Right.
oh, that's a nice little
So
story.
the kid was. I thought was the highlight of the issue, and yeah, the kid was set right by like, hey, I don't want to be an outlaw, but
Mhm.
So that's good.
Yeah,
That's wrong. He doesn't want to hurt people, you know.
right, especially old. You want to hurt bad guys,
Right.
and not some old couple. And it's kind of nice.
Yeah.
Yeah. Let me see. But it was okay.
Yeah.
Sure.
And I think that's going to be our last Western anything for a while.
Mhm.
So, in fact, I don't know when we'll look at any Westerns again, but we've done so many lately. It's
Yeah, it's enough. I mean, I don't mind them, and I've not read a comic book for this show that I could not stand.
Right.
And there's some books I will not touch. I read. That's it. I'm not going to read. But the comic books, they're okay. They're interesting. Would not want to do a crap load more of westerns.
Well, we've kind of done a crap load of Westerns here lately, and we're done with that as far
Mhm.
as I can recall. So, not to say we won't see them again in the future, but not in the amount we've had,
Yeah.
kind of. So, yeah, I don't have anything else. Are we good?
The witch woman who mocks as she slays. I love that one.
Oh, from Red Sonja?
Yeah,
That was cool.
Got some cool quotes from that.
Yeah.
So
Um,
till next week.
yeah.